It's time. Good morning. What? Why is my camera off? There. Hi. Sorry, I'm wearing a jacket because it's kind of chilly today, and this jacket is super rattly. It's got all these fun things on it, like button things that like rattle like crazy. So it's gonna be a very ASMR stream today. I'll try not to move around too much, I guess. Hi guys, how are you? It's been a minute. Sorry, my camera's on weird. Baby rattle jacket, yes. If you have small children, I will keep them entertained the entire stream. Which is probably only going to be about 2-ish hours today. Maybe a little longer, we'll see. I think we're still debating on whether or not we're going to a pumpkin patch today. Abby has a half day today for parent-teacher conferences. I got a haircut last week. I haven't streamed since I got my haircut, which is weird. It's been like a week. So I've been trying not to wear hats as much now that I have a haircut. Not too bad. Finished developing for the day for this, so best be good. Wait, what? I'm not too bad. I finished developing for this, so best be good. Got it. I think I understood what you're saying. Sorry. Cool. Also, sorry if I'm like clearing my throat a lot or coughing still. I am still getting over the stupid cold. I think I just got like some lingering junk or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway, been pretty good. Same, honestly, Victor. It's fine. Thanks for coming in though. Appreciate it. Same with Arrow. Welcome in. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know what I'm working on today. I think I had an idea. I think we were gonna work on I have no idea, actually. I don't know. I was up late last night. I was trying really hard not to be up late last night. But I was, because I started playing with a new project, which is probably a mistake. But it is what it is. I need to convert this. I know what you're thinking. What the hell's going on here? We have the Spider Queen boss that I want to use the animations from. So I started working on this. Did not get very far, obviously. Maybe we'll work on this today. We mostly just have to match up our mesh with the underlying mesh, so the rig matches, and then we can drop it in the engine. I'm also trying not to open the engine. I mean, we can open the engine, but I'm trying not to do too many changes right now to the game. I don't want to change anything that is like player facing, because Witch's Eve is going on right now, and when it ends, I have to tear it down, and what I don't want to happen is to break something, right? And then have to like frantically fix it and leave Witch's Eve up longer than it's supposed to be up. So I'm just building a saving and loading system. Nice. I can't imagine that being fun in Unity. Quite easy in Unreal Engine, and even easier if you just use a plugin. I'm sure there's got to be a Unity plugin or something you can use that would make that really easy. Looks like we've already started. Let's grab this guy, and I wanted to set it to, let's just make it a new layer. I think that button. It wasn't that button. There, now it's a reference layer and I can't select it. Rig should also be a reference layer. I don't want to select. Okay, doesn't matter. Oh, it's not in the layer. Cool. We can only select the mesh that we want to work with. So, yeah, I've been working on something a little extra in the last few days because I'm very burnt out on Swords and Magic. I don't know what it is now. It just feels like every single time we get an update out, I burn out like hardcore. Like I just can't be bothered to work on it anymore at all. Which is probably fine, you know, it's not a big deal. So I've been working on a new thing. We need more joints here. I'm gonna have to make some, but I'm gonna put this one up here. We might actually go in and add some like spikes and stuff on these. I'm not sure yet. We don't need them. We just need to copy the rig. This is looking pretty bad. This should be kind of like over here. We're just gonna do half of this and duplicate it. Okay, and then here we're just gonna add a slice through here, and we'll just do 2 more for weighting purposes. There's one. I'm kind of tempted just to duplicate that one around because I don't think these legs are attached anyway. Let's just split our mesh apart. Like this. Hey, what's up, golfer? Let's see. It's not bad. I'm just taking data and converting it to JSON. I don't know how people say that. Writing it to a file, then reading it and putting it back where it needs. Yeah. So the only difference is Unreal Engine just has its own, like, I don't even know if it's JSON or how it works, but they have their own like save files. It's just a .save. And so it's like, it's just built in. Like Unreal just has it built in. So but it's pretty much the exact same thing. You just don't have to worry about building all the data yourself. You kind of just, the best way to do it is just to build a struct and then put all the data you want in that struct. The only thing you really can't save is like a map or a dictionary, whatever it's called in Unity. That's about it. Everything else is serializable. Serializable? Sure. Can be serialized. So yeah, and then you just throw all this stuff in there, and then you just put that in your like save file class, and then that's what gets saved. You just tell it to save that file. It's super easy. Unity has built-in stuff you like doing yourself. Hey, reinventing the wheel, man. That's what Gamedev's too. Been there, done that, right? You can save dictionaries? Oh, in Unreal, they're not. You can't serialize dictionaries. Their data does not serialize properly, so it doesn't get saved. That's cool. Oh wait, I'm starting to nitpick, and I need to stop doing that, probably. Okay, so we have a leg here. Let's merge it together. And then I think we're just going to get rid of the other legs, since these are all just duplicated. I feel kind of bad for doing this on stream, because I know some people are not super into the spiders. At all. So I'm sorry for those people. Oh, interesting. How did that just happen? That's happening. Looks pretty good. We're gonna have to make sure that the base here like covers all these up, but we'll do a lot of cleanup once the basics are in place here. Then we gotta merge the body into it as well, the torso, the human torso. Sure. Let's see. And Unity has some stuff built in, save dictionaries. Love a good data struct. Same. I have 4 dictionaries that I'm saving already. Nice. That's cool. That's the nice thing about C#. You can use libraries that anyone has made for C#. So if you need to do something like serialized dictionaries, there's probably a library for it. Fair enough. I wonder if you can't serialize dictionaries in C++ in general, or if it's just not something that they have like enabled, like they don't have a library for it, for example, in Unreal Engine. The cool thing about Unreal Engine is, like, I mean, that kind of sounds similar to Unity actually, is that it's open source. Like you can literally, like I actually did this yesterday, you can literally build from their source engine. So I have like yesterday I just set up 5.6, which is the latest version of Unreal, as a source build. So if I wanted to, I could go in and literally change the source code and like totally alter Unreal Engine and use it however I want. Like it's fully open like that, which is pretty cool. I guess maybe it not. I think it's not considered open source because you do have to pay for it. Like you pay your license fees, whatever, once you make money. I don't know what the license is or what they call it. But what's up, Thomas? Welcome in. You can 100% serialize dictionaries with C++. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, I assumed you couldn't because that's just how I've learned to use them, but sounds about right. So with Godot, you don't have access to that? I thought you could use C# in Godot. Or is it more just there's not enough, like built for it? Does that make sense? I hope these bend correctly. I think they're going to be fine, though. We can always tweak them, too, if we need to. I'm mostly worried about these big boxy pieces. These are like fur. It's like this, like a fur kind of effect. I wonder if I can actually turn on. Oh, I can't. Anyway, okay, there's those 4 legs. I don't think we're going to deal with this thing. I don't think I'm worried about this sash. I guess we could. I guess we could make it a sash and then like make an armor piece that she drops, like not armor piece, but like clothing or an outfit that she drops that like has that incorporated. Would be kind of cool. You might have to write a way to handle it yourself, but someone has 100% made one before. Oh, I'm sure. I don't know. There's also like with Unreal, I feel like they just have a way of doing things. So like if there's a reason, like if you can't serialize a dictionary, for example, then in my head it's probably because there's a good reason for that. So I shouldn't be trying to do that, right? That's just kind of the way I look at it. Will this be the dungeon boss? Sure will. I'm a little worried about these arms. I think that I can change the scale of the joints. Like I think we did that with the horse. I just don't remember how we did it. I think you have to change the scale of the joints and then you retarget the animations, which we will do in a different project. So I think we can do it though, because like, if we stretch these arms out to match these arms, it's gonna be like, this is gonna be a creepy looking. I mean, maybe that's what we want. I don't know, but I think we can actually like change it a little bit. Anyway, yeah, now we need to figure out how to connect these, but first let's just, I guess we can just separate these two. Kind of rusty in Maya. Object, thank you. Something like that. Delete this one. Okay, I think we're all lined up. We just need to get rid of these legs on the side so we can duplicate them. Honestly, that's it. And then we just need to hide that guy. The legs are actually probably good enough. We can move them a little bit here. Honestly, not bad. I'd even just kind of leave them. kind of want to rotate this leg around actually, so it's like this. Kind of matches the body a little better. I'm just concerned because I don't know where the joints are underneath this. Probably good enough. That's probably fine. So we just kind of like drop this down as well. So we have a lot of pieces to match up here. Actually, I think this goes away, doesn't it? Wait. I feel like that's going to be easier to match up. I don't know. This has two pieces. I'm trying to decide if we should just delete this or merge it together. I'm not sure why there are two pieces. I guess we'll merge them. If I remember how to do that. Looks like we got it. There's a lot of edges in this. I think it's just so it bends better. We also have a fun end gun right here. I think we're going to try to fix that. I'm trying to decide if we want to merge, like, just do this. Let's do one more extrude. And I think we're just going to start merging. So let's delete these maybe. This one hair card can probably go away too. Let's just start snapping stuff in place and we'll make it work. Yeah, like we have edges there we don't need. We can just go there probably. Something is not perfectly even here because we're getting some weirdness. This is already weird. I think we're gonna need to do something like this. I also think we have a lot of edges in here we don't need. We can get rid of this guy. I think we might make this torso a lot shorter. Oh, we have weirdness. Okay, we'll fix this in a second. Don't worry, it'll probably look better when we get done. Yeah, we're gonna have to flip the joints a little bit here, I think, but okay, there's also some weird edges in here. There, fixed them. Save this. Let's read chat. You can use C# with Godot, but it's not integrated as well as GScript, and like web builds don't work if you use C# right now. Oh, okay. Godot uses its own inbuilt code rather than coding sources or other code. Oh my god, inbuilt code. Other coding sources have to be converted into a script that can be read if I'm right. Oh, okay. Is that like a boss? Yes. Will this be a dungeon boss? Yes. Sorry. Ad break. Skip right over that. Good. I think creepier the better. Yeah, probably. Oh, Kit, welcome in. Thanks for the resub. Appreciate that. Sorry, I was really kind of like lost in work right now. Kindred, can you give me a hint on how to get the boar to listen to me? How to get the boar to listen to you? Which boar are you talking about? The one you can't interact with? In the mud pits? It's for a quest. I think it's actually set up as a secret quest, so the quest giver probably doesn't have a quest marker on them, if I remember correctly. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't a secret. I'm not gonna tell you who it is though. I can tell you where they're located if you want, but it kind of spoils it. Can you do a code overview of your project one time? I'm looking to make a bigger project in Unity and wonder how you set up your project for that scale, especially your code and folder setup. Hank, I don't know, or Hank, sorry. I don't know if my project is the best example for that. In fact, the last few weeks I've been talking a lot about this because Swords and Magic's getting to the scale now and scope that like every time I add something, things are starting to like fall apart or break. Like that I didn't even touch. And yes, I do use Unreal Engine. Still project overview stands. Yeah. I think keeping things not like, I wouldn't go like too modular, but keeping things like systemized in like nice modular chunks is the way to go. One of the things we learned very much the hard way that I really regret is that we have a component called our player component that snaps to our player controller. And that handles a lot of code, way too much stuff. Like it has our inventory code, it has our equipment stuff. Well, most of our equipment stuff, there's actually an equipment component for that. It handles mounts, it handles companions, it handles just so many things. There's a lot of replication stuff, handles like buffs, and there's just so much stuff that it handles that it's like hundreds of functions. Like I'm not even exaggerating, there's probably 300 functions in it. And every time I open it now, it takes like 10 seconds to open or longer. Saving it takes like 10 or 15 seconds. Compiling it takes 10 or 15 seconds. Like it is really big and really slow because we just kept adding more and more stuff to it because it was like, well, this is the player component, this is where everything goes. I also regret doing it because it's also a pain in the ass to work with multiplayer, because the player component is on a player controller, which does not exist on other devices, right? So like, or other players. So if I, like, for example, say I dealt damage to another player for some reason, like one client dealt damage to another client, I can't just get their player component and get their stats. I can't like see if they have certain events going on, or if they have like certain buffs or debuffs, whatever. Well, I kind of can, because we use this thing called GAS, Gameplay Ability System, which is like a built-in Unreal Engine feature. But yeah, like beyond like basic stats, I can't really like find that kind of stuff. So I can't like, I couldn't check their equipment, for example. Like, it'd be really nice if I could be like, oh, does this guy have this certain equipment like attached or whatever, or like a certain trinket equipped or something like that to like do something with, whatever. So I can't do any of that kind of stuff, which puts us in a really like tight spot. Yeah, because it's on the player controller, and player controllers only exist on the server and the client that's running it, right? So if you have two clients talking to each other, neither of them know about the other's player controller, so I can't get access to their player component, which is attached to that. So like a lot of the stuff that we have like stored on there, like basically all of our game progress and stuff would have been really nice if it was in other places so we could get access to it, rather than having to like do server calls to do it. Anyway, it's a huge pain. Excuse me. Getting over a cold, so it's lingering cough still. Yeah, so like we have a lot of, it's very big, and yeah, it seems like every time I add something, like we're working on skill trees right now, and every time I add like something new to skill trees, I have to go through and like find all the places where, like, for example, we have like a rage system, right? So whenever the player takes damage, they have a chance to become enraged, and that like builds up. Actually, I don't think it does build up. I think about it. I think it's just a trigger. Like, it just sometimes works. Anyway, would have been cool if that built up. That probably would have felt a lot better if it was like a built up like stat. Maybe we'll switch it to that. Anyway, but yeah, I had to go through like all of our code and find where to like add all those things in, and yeah, I wish it would have like thought that through in the beginning, because then we would have added like gameplay hooks for that kind of stuff instead, and that would have worked a lot better, I think. So yeah, there's a lot of things. Like, I think the biggest thing is like just planning. Like, really think about all the things you're gonna do with your game and the things you might want to add in the future, and then just design around those ideas so they're easy to implement later. Like, even if you're like, well, one day I might want a crafting system, and like that might really bring something to the game, whatever, then like just you don't have to build it right away, but like think about how that's going to be incorporated, and make sure you're not like, you know, like building things in like building a brick wall around that idea, right? So yeah, that's like the toughest part. Making abstract systems can be tough. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like Unreal also has a really cool feature called what is it called? Is it called gameplay systems? I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, it basically lets you do that, like where you build like all of your stuff, features, gameplay features. You build all these features as abstract features, and then you can literally just drop them into any project you want. I honestly haven't really used it yet, but I'm really hoping that we can like utilize it more in this next project, next big project I do, because I love the idea of that, and I think it's gonna save a ton of time in the end. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work to like build with future expandability in mind. But that's the thing, is if you're gonna be making a big game, it's gonna save you a lot of time and tech debt later if you think about that kind of stuff going like forward, or from the beginning. So as much as I'm a big fan of just like getting stuff working and just it's good enough, like it's like my catchphrase almost, is like good enough, let's go. Yeah, I think when you're making a big project, you really do need to think about longevity. So that's my big tip for you, is like structuring your project in a way that just makes sense for future like development and stuff too, is going to be a big deal. Okay, the more I'm staring at this, the more I like absolutely hate it. I don't know, I guess I don't hate it as much on this side, but maybe it's just because like the legs kind of like distract from this weird shape here. Also, I just realized that we're not, like, symmetry is not working. Which means I have to, like, delete half of this and mirror it, which is fine, I guess. Just gotta pick a side and stick with it now. Works sometimes. I don't know why it's working sometimes on others. Anyway, yeah, I was just thinking maybe we don't even want to like merge this, and we just want to make it like a box that just sets into this. So I don't kind of like how these ones work, and all the legs work, and that might have been much better, and it wouldn't have looked so creepy. Should we do that? So we just like delete from here down. And just drop it in. I think so. Which means we didn't need these edges here either. We can just bridge these. Those. Uh-oh. There's a weird shape here that I don't know what's going on. It's fine. Okay. And now this guy. I don't know, maybe I hate that worse. Maybe it was better before. Let's try, like, just moving this a little bit. We need to separate these again. It's easier to work with this piece. Somehow we are not symmetrical. Which is a little scary because this is definitely the character mesh that we use in game. That's not bad. That's fine, I guess. It's definitely, it's, you know why it's like super weird though? It's just because the character model normally would have like legs like right here, like coming down, right? Like this is their waist. A little higher actually would be their waist. Like right here would probably be their waist coming down. So like the fact there's no legs there is like what's really creepy about it, I think. And it makes me wonder if we should bring this down more and then just scale the torso down more and go less spider, more human. I think that's better. Yeah. You're using a drider? I guess so, yeah. I forgot they were called that. But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I feel like I should just make my ideas and don't come up with new ideas. Well... yeah, probably. Studying computer science, so it's important for that as well. Yeah. Here's, I don't know. I have kind of a hot take when it comes to like feature creep. I think it depends a lot on the type of game you're making. Like, for example, I honestly feel like Swords and Magic would be a worse game if we didn't just let feature creep run wild. Would it be a more concise, more polished, and finished by now? Yes, 100%. But the original game idea was honestly pretty bad. Like it just didn't have any teeth to it, you know, in my opinion. So personally, I think that feature creep kind of saved Swords Magic. I think it kind of like, especially when I brought the team on, like when it was just me, I don't know. I don't think I'm that great of a game designer. I think if I'm left to my own devices and I'm like, this is a cool idea for a game, it's usually not that great, right? It's just, I don't know. It's just, I'm just not that good at game design, I guess. And my ideas are like, they sound cool on paper, and then when I like start implementing, they're not great. Like we went through that whole like Dwarven Hold thing where we spent like a week building out a whole like RTS kind of game thing. And on paper, it was a really cool idea. And then when I actually started playing it, I was like, this is not fun. Like, it's just not fun. Like it would need so much more to get to that point. And that's exactly what I was trying to avoid with that project, is the core idea was supposed to be fun. And since it wasn't, it was like, well, what am I doing about building this then? So I don't know. I do think feature creep in some games really does help like bring out the best ideas. I think having a team you can bounce ideas off of and everyone can have like their own input and opinions, I think helps a lot. So, but yeah, I'm kind of a fan of feature creep. I think that in a lot of times it like your best ideas spawn from like playing the game and then thinking it would be really cool if you could do this and then adding that. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Probably not, right? I don't think every game needs that. I think most games, like for example, Seeking Adventure is a very small single player hidden object RPG, right? That we're hopefully launching next year. Hopefully early next year. I can't say much about it, but we're actually talking to a publisher. We have a meeting set up for a publisher for Seeking Adventure, so maybe something will come of that. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. But spooky music. Ooh, yeah, this is the World of Warcraft soundtrack. Probably my favorite music of all time right now. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so feature creep. Yeah, I don't know. I think it definitely has its place. Okay, I'm mostly happy with this. I think we could maybe move these cards, probably go up a little bit. And then this, I think we could probably bring up a little, and this up a little. Try to decide if like do we want this like fully? Yeah, I mean like that. I'm happy with that. We could probably like take this character and just like scale it maybe. Can't go too much. We could do that and kind of like fit the joints a little better, the rig a little better. Shading, X-ray joints. So we're definitely off. So we're gonna have to move these joints down when we weight it. Honestly, we kind of need to grab like all this. So the joints in your spine should mostly follow your spine, like probably be pulled back a little bit. Kind of depends on the model too. Actually looks like they're trying to follow like the front of the stomach, which is weird. Yeah, like if we wanted to follow the joints, we'd want to be up here more, which we don't want to do. We want to be like here. Oh, we kind of screwed up our arm. Damn it. Let's move it back. And then we'll grab all of the arm. Something like that. Alright, yeah, we're gonna move the joints down a little bit, I think. Let's I guess we can do that now. So I guess we'll just start with the bottom one. Pretty much like that. Except we should have mirrored that. I can mirror the arm. Hopefully without any issues. I'll probably just do that. Oh. Maya. Thank you. Let's save. Okay. Delete that. Wait for a second. Okay, and now we can mirror this one. Rigging, skeleton, mirror joints. I have no idea we want to mirror this as. Search for _R, replace with _L. We want Y and Z. Apply. There it is. Beautiful. Okay. So now we just need to mirror a lot of the mesh over, and then I think we're ready to wait. Little concerned about what we're gonna do for the texture painting for the character model, because I was just gonna use clothes. I was just gonna make like a regular like clothing for her, but I think we're gonna have to do some custom UVs. Also think we can just ditch some of these joints. Like if we just open this up in a different project and we mirror if we what's it called? Oh my god. Retarget the animations, we can like just set up a joint thing, and then we could just export those animations, I hope, and import this into Swords and Magic, and then import those animations in, and they should just work. I hope. The worst case scenario, we import the character model or the animations from the default one and the oh my god, this spider rig into Swords and Magic, and then we retarget it there. That's the worst case. Ad break, sorry about that. Crimson, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Guys, I'm excited to hear more about Seeking Adventure. There's a demo out right now, actually, Board Game Wizard, if you want to check it out. Just search up Seeking Adventure on Steam. The demo's out. That I really need to update it though. The demo's a little outdated now. I did a bunch of quality of life work on the demo because it was played by to do both at the same time. It was played by can't do that. Can I? Okay, never mind. That's fine. Good enough. What's it called? Gamedev Clinic, I think. Indie Clinic, Indie something clinic. Indie Game Clinic. This guy played Seeking Adventure somewhere. Indies Under the Knife. Well, I thought he did Indies Under the Knife. Maybe... Can we search? Yeah. So he did like a first impressions video. Anyway, and he left really good feedback, so I implemented almost all of his feedback, like almost instantly. There's like a couple things where it was just sort of like, this is just a design decision that he doesn't agree with, but I want to do it. I have it wish listed. How did I not see the demo? Oh, really? That's funny. Yeah, it's kind of cute. I'm really excited that a publisher reached out. That's kind of huge. The thing is, like, this game was really meant to be like a pretty simple little like the goal was $10,000 like gross revenue after like 3 months. It was just sort of like, this is just something we just want to like have a little bit of extra like income coming from, and like get another like game under our belt. And then I thought we could kind of like, the idea is like, obviously, I don't know, I think for an indie dev right now, the best way to like make money and just like stay afloat is to have a bigger library of games that when someone buys and plays one of your games, they're like, oh man, this is cool, I like this, leave it a review, positive or hopefully ideally, and then they see your other games and then they buy those games, right? Because they like this one so much, they're probably going to buy the other one. And so the idea was like, let's just build like a smaller library of games, or a library of small games, to help like feed all of our other games, right? Cheesy and the publisher, yeah. I mean, there's nothing set in stone yet. They reached out to us, which is kind of a big deal, I think. And then we have a meeting soon, so we'll see what happens. It might be, you know, dead in the water. Who knows? I met with a publisher for Swords Magic years ago. With what are they called? Big indie publisher. Like on the tip of my tongue, I can like see it. Whatever, I don't remember what it was. Team 17, thank you, Arrow. Yeah, like we met with Team 17 for Swords and Magic, and they were interested in publishing, and then it just kind of fell through. And that went on for months before I finally just canceled it because we had to launch the game. Like, they waited forever. Yes, it was Team 17. Good guess. Yeah, we talked back and forth with them for months and months. And then I just like, they kept asking for more information, so I'd send them all this information, and I wouldn't hear back from them for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I'd write back to them and be like, what's going on? Is there something going on here? And then they'd be like, I was like, well, I'm still waiting for that information. I was like, I sent that the day you asked for it. And they're like, oh, I missed that somehow. And I'd be like, okay. And they're like, oh, can we get more information on this thing? And I'd be like, sure. And then I'd send it over right away, and then I'd wait weeks. And then I write back to them and be like, what's going on? and they'd be like, oh, we're just waiting for that information from you, and I'm like, I already sent it. So it was very frustrating working with them. And so pretty soon what happened is like we were like running out of time and we had to launch the game, and it was like, there's no way you guys can market this and like publish it at this point, even if you said yes right now. Like you have like 1 week to do this. So after, I think we were like 2 or 3 weeks out, and I was like, I just don't think you guys would have time to publish this, even if you signed the paperwork right this second. So we'll be going on and publishing on our own. Thank you. But yeah, they I don't remember what I'm allowed to say. It's been so long though that like it probably doesn't matter, and we didn't sign anything or anything anyway. But yeah, they kind of like evaluated the game Swords of Magic as like a $3 million potential. We have not made that money. But yeah, it does make me wonder like how much more money we would have made if we actually got signed with them. I'm sure it would have been a lot more. Then again, I also think they probably would not be happy with how long it's taken, and we probably would have had to really push harder to like get things finished up. But yeah, it's fine though. Team 17 is kind of huge on indie games, to be honest. Yeah, I think it would have been really big. I think it would have really pushed us to the next level. I also think they would have funded us, so we would have had funding going in. And I also think that they would have probably helped us with a lot of the issues we're running into now, like with our a lot like the tech debt and stuff. Like they would have been like, yeah, let's fix that or whatever. And I think they would have had like devs that could have like popped in to like help out, because they do have that kind of stuff. I believe maybe they don't do it anymore, but I'm pretty sure they used to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is gonna be fine. I'm gonna start deleting some of these joints. I don't think we need all these. I know we don't need all these. I've been afraid to do this kind of stuff in the past, but with the horse, like, I think we kind of proved that this kind of stuff works. We can do this. We can play with this more than I've always been like kind of afraid of like rigs, even when I was like in school for this kind of stuff, it felt like you had to do things. Oops, I deleted this entire arm. You had to do things like a very, very specific way. Otherwise everything got like broken, and then you had to start over. So we have a neck and we have a head. We don't need anything attached to the head. These are all like, I think these are like pigtails and some eyes or something. We just need the neck here and then the head joint. That's it. That's all we need. Oh, and we don't need this. Okay, so there's our mesh. Okay, let's hide the rig. Let's save. I kind of want to save a copy of this. I guess we can just bring the rig back in if we need to. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just save it. Okay, and now we need to duplicate these guys over. Freeze transforms, scale -1. Freeze transforms again. This is looking pretty cool. It's gonna be fun. Oh, she did have a stinger. We should make a stinger for her real quick. I don't know why a spider would have a stinger, but this one does, and I believe there's an animation that is like relative to it, so we'll do it. We're gonna make the stinger a little bigger than hers was. Normally I would just, actually, you know what, I will. I was gonna say, normally I would make this a separate piece, but I am gonna do that. We just soften these edges and these edges. There we go. Got ourselves a stinger. Ooh-wee. Make it a little less. Right, there was one in the original model, right? Oh yeah, big stinger. Probably fine, right? I don't really care to match this as much. Like, I'd rather just use our own, like, model we already have. I wanted to match our spiders in game more than this is matching. It could be kind of cool though to add some armor pieces, like the plating on this, whatever. Could be kind of neat. Just add it and then like duplicate it around. Do we need it? No, but it would add, like, especially if it was like gold or something, or like a red like shiny thing or something, just to like make it really stand out. Just to make so she's not just like a spider with a human torso. She like totally has like armor and extra stuff, you know. I still like your idea of an indie game collective. I do too. I don't know. I think I'm probably not a good person to be part of it. I think my problem is that I just want to make such grandiose games, you know? Like, I just want to make these huge games that are just like way too big. And then when I do have smaller ideas, like Seeking Adventure, for example, I hardly finish them. And I feel like everyone else in the collective would just be like churning out all these games, and I'd be like, don't worry, I'm gonna make one. I just, you know, just gotta find some time. And I would just feel so guilty that I just don't know if it would be a good move for me. I love the idea of it. Like, I really, really do like the idea of it a lot. I don't know. Just saw how weird, like wonky this thing was. I think it's because I need to grab these pieces. There we go. Definitely have some weird like angles going on with some of these legs, but I'm not super concerned about it. I think it'll turn out. Okay. Oh yeah, I need this arm. Whoa. Let's separate these. Duplicate. Mirror. Freeze. Let's combine all this actually. What is this? Part of our rig, I think. Yep. Wait, are we missing part of our rig? Where's the joints? Oh. Is there there's no joints down there? I thought there was another joint right here in the middle of the leg. I guess that's just, those don't bend. Okay, that's fine. Save. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I really do like the idea of it, and I would love to, like, I don't know, you know, one of my favorite things about game development, like, of my game development career, was just like when I first started streaming Swords and Magic, and it was like this fresh, exciting thing, and like we just kept getting more and more viewers, and like more people like finding about the game and then getting excited about it, and then like being able to do like play tests and having people like play it and stuff. Like, that was always so much fun, and I feel like that's like so in the past now, with like Swords and Magic being so much bigger now, and like it being out. Now, like, we don't do like free play tests and stuff anymore. Like, now if you want to play the game, you have to buy it and stuff, which, I mean, is fine, but it's just like, I don't know. So I always felt like for a long time, like I was watching like a Vimlark stream, and he like does game jams all the time, And I just kept thinking like, you know, that would be so much fun if like every month I was just working on a new game. And that's where I think like the indie game collective thing would be really cool. Where if it was just like, this is just what I do, is that just every month we make a new game, we release it, you know, like you don't even have to like, the thing is like, if you're releasing a new game like every month and it's like they're like decently polished, like I don't even think you have to do much marketing, because like if you're just making YouTube videos about that game each month and you're streaming the development of it, like that like already would be enough marketing probably. And then if you're just releasing that many games, like you're bound to make enough money to like just stay afloat to keep doing that thing, right? Like, I mean, I don't know, if your games are bad, then they're bad, but if they're decent, like, I think they're gonna get seen no matter what. And if you have like a Patreon or whatever, like that helps too, I'm sure. So I just think there's a lot of like potential there if you're to be, but you're more of like a content creator and less of an artist, I think, at that point. You know what I mean? I think that's where I run into problems. I think like my whole life I've just wanted to make games. I never saw it as like, I want to make games and get famous from like doing it, you know, like I don't know. I guess I like the idea of being like the guy that walks out on stage at BlizzCon or whatever and announces like the next big expansion or whatever. Like that was always cool. But I never thought like, I want to make YouTube videos about the games that I make. And I know that's like a new thing. It's like when I was a kid, obviously like YouTube wasn't like a thing. So it was like hard to like dream about being a YouTuber. But even now that I'm an adult, like that's just never been like the dream. Like I'm not all that interested in like building content around making games as much as I am just making the games. And I live stream because one, it gives me like some company, right? Like it's nice having like an audience to chat with. It's a really good way to get feedback, which is why I started doing it in the first place, and to learn more from people who are more experienced. I'm kind of like out of that stage now. I feel like I know what I need to know to make the games I want to make for the most part. I was a little humbled yesterday because I spent about 8 hours walking through multiple tutorials and like researching things to set up the back end stuff for an MMO. But I did get it done and I didn't need any help. I had to Google like several things. Like there was a lot of Googling I had to do, like just to like understand what certain things were and like why they existed and like how to like do them or whatever. And like, you know, how do I, you know, like CD into a new directory using command line or whatever, command prompt and stuff like that. Like I've done that in the past, but it's been so long since I've done that kind of stuff that I forgot how all that stuff worked. And yeah, so anyway, sorry, tangent. But yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of like doing the like 1 month, like, or one game a month, whatever, game jam, like content thing. But then when it boils down to it, like, I just think about like, but I want to make a big game, you know? Like, that's just, I don't know. It's just, I know it's probably never going to go anywhere, you know? Like, in the back of my mind, like, I know that if I keep making big games like Swords and Magic and I try to making an MMO next, you know, or like, stuff like that, like I know that I'm probably never gonna like take off and become like a big major game studio. Like first of all, I'm almost 40, like probably a little late like to be dreaming about like being the next like Blizzard or whatever, you know. Like I don't think that's gonna happen, but still, like it's hard to shake the idea that like that's what excites me, you know. Like I don't know, I love the idea of small games. Like there's a lot of small games I'd love to make, but when I start making them, it just feels like it's not enough to like quench that thirst for like building something big and grand, you know. And Swords and Magic, I think, was like the perfect stepping stone into making a bigger, more serious game. But it is very scary to me thinking that Swords and Magic is a small open world RPG and it took 8 years to get to this point. And half of that time we had like a full-time, like almost a full team, you know. So like, yeah, what does an MMO actually look like for like full like dev cycle time? And as of right now it's 3 people, and I don't know how full-time those other 2 are going to be, or how full-time I can be. So yeah, that scares the hell out of me a little bit. Like is this just going to be like the rest of my life working on this thing? I don't know. Literally today I launched a very small game Steam page after working for 4 years on 2 huge projects. Totally on your side. I like complex big games. I think most of us do, you know. I think most of us grew up playing console games, playing Zelda, playing World of Warcraft, you know, and so it's very easy for us to fall into that trap of like, I want to make this game, you know, I want to make a game like this, but like my own way or whatever, or do my own thing. And I don't know, like that's the dream, right? Like that's the thing is like you see all these people making their dream games on YouTube, and it's so frustrating because it's like, dude, this is not your dream game. This is not the game you grew up wishing to make, you know. This isn't the game that you saw or played as a you know, as a 15-year-old or 14-year-old or whatever, and like thought, I want to do this, I want to make something like this. Like there's no way, because most of these games are like, this is my dream game about, you know, I don't know, like shooting a rocket launcher, you know, and like jumping between islands or something. Like I don't know, just like they're always so small scope, and it's like, that's not a dream game. Anyway, inspired by hype mostly. Yeah, agreed. And but yeah, I think, I don't know, as much as I love the idea of doing that kind of stuff, like just making smaller games, and I have a lot of ideas for smaller games, and I would love to like pursue a lot of those and just experiment and play with them, because like that's so much fun. At the end of the day, I get burnt out super fast doing that kind of stuff. Like Seeking Adventure should have been like a 3-month project, like super easy. Honestly, I probably could have done it in a month if I would have just like buckled down and like, you know, put my nose to the grindstone or whatever and like got to work. But now it's been like a year, and it's still only like halfway done, if that. Halfway done if you consider like the fact that all the mechanics are pretty much done and there's some content, and the rest of the game is just building out that content, more content, and designing levels and puzzles. But yeah, like I don't know, it's easy to burn out on little stuff like that, because it doesn't feel like the payoff's gonna be worth it, you know. And I kept telling myself, like, I'm just doing this for fun, I want to knock out a little game, the goal is $10,000. But like, I think the problem with that $10,000 goal is that in the back of my mind, I know that's not enough money to justify the time working on it. You know, 3 months of work for $10,000, and that's gross, not net, means I only make like 6,000 to 7,000, you know, after taxes and everything, and then Steam's cut. So like $7,000 for 3 months of work, not worth it. And so like, and I know that, and it's just sort of like, why not make something bigger? You know, if I'm already not going to be making any money, why not make like the dream game? Why not make something like bigger that's like epic and fun and like crazy? And that's the thing too, like so many people say like start small, make these little tiny games and everything, and I agree, like that is how you need to start when you start making games. But at some point it's sort of like, unless that's like what you're really passionate about and you really like making the small games, there is a point where like Swords and Magic like took off because it's a bigger game, right? Like I feel like if I pitch Swords and Magic as like, this is a mini game, this is a mini game where you know, collect swords by like you know, smash this button and kill monsters and collect swords, whatever, and then cast spells, and like if it was like a mobile game, there's no way it would have got the funding it got. It wouldn't have got the attention it got. It wouldn't have made, you know, $500,000 gross. You know, like there's just no way if it was a smaller game. And I'm not saying like, obviously like a bigger game makes more money, obviously, but like to me it's just sort of like, if you build something that's quality, that looks good, it's fun to play, and is like solid, and you have passion behind it, like it's kind of hard for it to fail, you know? I mean, depending on what you're making and how, like what you consider as failure. Like Swords and Magic, absolutely not a failure, you know? Like in my head, like absolutely not. Like it was the biggest success of my life, which is kind of wild and scary to say. Financially, I guess. So like, I don't know, I just feel like I want to like repeat that, you know? And I feel like we have that under our belt now. The only issue, this is the biggest issue I've been struggling with for years now, is that I feel like anything else I do after this is going to be shot down immediately because Swords and Magic isn't finished yet. And like, that's the hardest part for me, is like, Swords and Magic is no longer financially viable to keep working on. It just isn't. Like, it doesn't really matter how much effort I put in. Like, it doesn't make enough money to justify the effort. And if I put in a little bit of effort, right, the amount of effort that I can justify for the amount of money it makes, then it doesn't make like any money, and then it's even worse. So it's like we started out where we could put in like, it was like a 1-to-1 effort, right? Like I would put in, you know, $20 an hour worth whatever of work, and then I'd get that back out, you know, or more. And now it's like it's like totally not the same. Like it's like dwindled, you know. So So yeah, that's my biggest struggle right now is like I have to finish Swords and Magic because I feel like it's this unfinished business. Like I'm gonna be, you know, haunting the game dev world forever because my unfinished business. But I feel like at the same time, like I don't know, like I know that if I went to like I don't know, one of the guys on Shark Tank, for example, or something, and I was like, this is what's going on, this is how much money the game is making, this is like what I need to do to finish it, this is the amount of time it's going to take, this is what I think the ROI is going to be on that, return on investment is going to be on that, this is like what I think sort of like Steam is going to push, whatever, this is how much I have to pay for marketing or whatever. I guarantee every single one of them would be like, no, just call it done, like just move on, like don't work on this is not worth your time, right? I know that, but I also know that in the indie sphere it's sort of like everyone's like just finish it, you know, like I know that too. And I also know our players are just like just finish it because they want to play the game. So I don't know. I've train started. Thanks, dude, appreciate that. Swords needs a 1.0. See, I don't know, it'll make some money when it gets 1.0, but it's tough. Yeah, I think it will. Like I still have this like inkling of hope, right? That like we'll finish Bone Reach, we'll finish up like a storyline kind of thing and wrap up the story and put like a little intro. I don't even need the intro, who knows, who cares? But anyway, we'll finish it up, we'll hit 1.0, we'll launch it, we'll say here's 1.0, we'll run some ads, maybe send out a bunch of keys, whatever. And then this inkling of hope is like it's gonna blow up and all these big streamers are gonna be like, oh my god, look at this hidden gem game, like there's so much content here and this game is so much fun and we have like 10 players playing and like it's so crazy, like where did this game come from, like how did I never hear about this before? Like I feel like I still have that like a little bit of like glimmer of like this is a possibility, and then it suddenly makes that $3 million that Team 17 thought it would, you know, like. Oh, there's an ad break, of course. Worst time for ad breaks, always. I just feel like it's a gamble, you know? And it's like, I still plan on finishing it. Uh-oh, what are we listening to? No, what happened? I didn't have repeat on. If I don't have repeat on, then Spotify just starts playing random music. And you know what's going to happen now? It's going to get flagged for freaking copyright. I hate that so much. Like, just stop playing, you know? If I don't have repeat on, just stop playing at the end. There's probably a setting for that. Gotta love ads. Anyway, ad break is over. DMCA. Yeah, I hope not, but probably. Steam, Twitch is okay with it. It just kind of mutes it for you and you're kind of just good to go. But YouTube is not. YouTube will just give all my revenue away to someone else, which is like, you know, 14 cents. So who cares? But like your game, which is a good game, but not viral type game. It's just a really impressive indie game, but doesn't really sell, to be honest. Oh, hold on. Let me read. Sorry. I totally missed a bunch of chat. Let me go back up. Totally missed a bunch of chat. I was just talking and ignoring everything you guys were saying. I'm so sorry. It's so fun to hear that take. I literally have the opposite. I don't really see it as feasible at all to make a game that is so grand. Yeah, that's funny. I'm more like those guys. My dream game isn't my if I can make whatever I want with millions of dollars and unlimited employees is not the same game. Yeah, I think that's what your dream game is, right? Like you have infinite money, infinite employees, you make that's your dream game, right? Mine's definitely an MMO, like 100%. Anyway, what I think will happen with today's launch, 3 months of work and marketing, probably below 10K if at all. Yeah, I mean, if you've been doing marketing and you have your 5,000 to 6,000 wish list, whatever, which by the way, it's so funny. Every single time I see like a YouTube video about that mentions wish lists at all, it used to be 2,000 wish lists. When I first started making games, like Steam was kind of getting bigger or whatever, it was you had to have 2,000 wish lists and you got in like the new and trending, and then it moved to like 5,000, and I think when we launched it was 6,000, and now I keep hearing 10,000, and the other day I heard something about 12,000, and I'm just like, dude, this is by the time I launch another game, you're gonna need 100,000 wish lists to make $10. Like, it's getting ridiculous. It's so bad. Anyway, it's a rough situation. We make more money when it hits 1.0, but it's rough, yeah. But it's tough, yeah. The gaming sphere is, to be honest, quite slow, or quite shit right now. For now, though, I know a lot of people are very positive for the indie market, but I feel like the indie market is leaning more towards viral games instead of good games. Totally agree, 100%. Yeah, and that's another thing is, like, I also think, I don't know, I feel like indie games, like, we're in a I swear I'm coining this term. I'm calling it floodware. Like, we're past shovelware, you know? And now we're into like floodware. Like, it's just like people, especially with AI, especially with like COVID and everything. Like, I really think COVID like spurred this for sure. A lot of people were like, you know what? I don't like my stupid job. I'm gonna go learn to make video games while I have these, you know, couple weeks off or whatever. And they did, and then now everyone and their dog is making indie games, and they're all releasing now. All those games that everyone started in COVID are all starting to release now, which is why we have like 15,000+ games launching every year on Steam. It's getting ridiculous. Sorry. So yeah, I think the indie market is very much flooded, and you really do need those like 15,000+ wish lists now to like stand out and like even like not just sink to the bottom. And that's like practically impossible to do, you know? Like, how are you supposed to like market that as an indie? You know, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't have a ton of hope for the indie market. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm pretty pessimistic about it recently. Like, I really think that like once AI starts making more progress too, I think we're just gonna start seeing more and more AI games, and I think it's gonna be kind of over for indie games. So yeah, I think, but here's like what my train of thought's been recently. I have been on a very big WoW kick. I've been playing WoW for almost every day. I didn't play yesterday or the day before, but I pretty much been playing every day, and I've just been playing classic WoW mostly. I jump over to retail sometimes, but like everyone in the classic WoW scene, even the retail scene, I've mostly been begging for a classic plus. Like a lot of people are going back to like playing old school like MMOs because, and I think, so have you guys noticed like on YouTube we have like this resurgence of like talking head videos with like zero editing? Like, I keep getting these like recommended videos where it's just some dude talking about his like life and like how he screwed up this thing or whatever it is, you know, and like whatever or it could be anything, but like it's just like this super raw, unedited, pretty much mostly unedited, like no filters, like no crazy lighting. It's just them talking to a camera. It's like old school YouTube, right? And I think there's like this big resurgence in that kind of content because I think like too many Mr. Beasts have like popped into YouTube or whatever, and I think indie games are the same way. Like, we've just been seeing like all these crazy, flashy, high quality like AAA commercial grade like content everywhere, all over the place in video games and everything, and people are getting like sick of it. Like, I think Gen Z and everything is just sort of like, what if we just like connected with people again? Like, what if we played MMOs where you actually had to talk to people and invite them to dungeons rather than just like clicking the join dungeon button and you just get thrown into a guild and never have to say, or into a group and never have to talk or say a word. And like, it's a huge night and day difference between like classic WoW trying to find a dungeon, like you're chatting the whole time, you're making plans, you're like prepping, especially in hardcore, like it's like you take that stuff serious, like, because if you die, right? It's over. And then you play retail and it's just like you click one button, within like 15 seconds or so you're literally thrown into a dungeon. Before you can even like load in or like pick up a quest or talk to or say hi in chat, the tank's already running through the dungeon and you're like halfway done and you're just like, oh my god. And you like, I play a healer, I love healing dungeons, but half the time I don't have to heal at all because the tank is so overpowered because they've just streamlined the game so much in retail that like there's not even any point to having a holy trinity anymore until you get to like mythic plus, right? Like, it's just ridiculous. And like there's like no game between beginning to end game until you get to mythic plus, and then it's suddenly like, oh, now you have to learn how to play healer. And it's like, well, how was I supposed to learn how to play healer when the tank literally didn't die or couldn't die even if I did nothing the whole game, and I never learned any of this. I don't know. There's just like a huge disconnect. I think it's just so weird that Blizzard has just streamlined everything so much that you never have to type a single word to another player. You can literally play World of Warcraft single player, which is so wild to me because I grew up playing World of Warcraft as such a social like experience, you know? Sorry, it's a big tangent. So you can't really be a good indie game or you can't really be a good indie game to get those 15K. You have to have something viral or absolutely unique. So think Balatro. Yeah, yeah, and I agree. I totally agree. Which is okay. So my point was, I think that yes, the indie game scene is very difficult to get into, and you do have to do something viral. You have to make this stupid like digging a hole game or whatever, or you know, a hard, difficult game about climbing or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, and I don't see an issue with that. Like, it's very much like the friend slop thing too. Is like, you know, like whatever those games are called. I don't really play them. Peak is a good example, right? The friend slop games where it's just like the game sucks, right? The game is like not great, but the reason it's good is because you have to play with friends, and then you have that social thing. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is I think people are looking more for those social interactions and those more raw interactions, and less so about the polished, streamlined experiences that everyone has gone toward recently. So yeah, so I think I like the reason I'm really interested in MMO right now is because there's such a push for a Classic Plus, because people love Classic WoW because it has that vibe they had as a kid, which sure, maybe my target audience is 35-year-old guys, who knows, that played WoW as a kid, but like, and that's fine with me because there's plenty of us. But I think like the whole idea of it is just that like people are looking for that experience, but we've already played Classic WoW, right? And Blizzard's not adding to it. Like, and maybe we'll get a Classic Plus or whatever, and it'll like, we'll have a whole new world to explore and everything, but I doubt it, right? So my idea was like, I feel like there's an audience here. I feel like there's a niche here that's not being fulfilled, right? That's not being catered to, in like an indie MMO that's actually kind of polished and feels good, but isn't as like I don't need like New World style or like level of graphics. I don't want New World level of like streamlined content and like PvP and all this stuff. I just want a simple, like slow-paced grind where I can chat with people and like play like Classic WoW, right? So like I want like a new version of Classic WoW essentially. That's what my vision is. So I don't know. I just think there's like a need for that, right? I can't find a game that feels like Classic WoW, and I know that a big part of it is like nostalgia, right? Like I know nostalgia plays a big part in like playing WoWs or in MMOs. I mean, in like enjoying MMOs. And I do think that like maybe chasing nostalgia is not the best way to go. So I do think you have to have something new and like refreshing. I don't know. I think the only way like I'm gonna make a game that's like as grand as I want it to be is by going MMO. And I think that like the only way it's gonna stand out is if I don't try to make the next Ashes of Creation or New World or, you know, World of Warcraft, but like I make something more old school and like chill and like, I don't know. And honestly, probably dead in the water, right? Like I'm probably gonna get a game out if we even get a game out. It's probably gonna take 10 years to even like launch a full like MMO, first of all. And it's probably just gonna flop, right? It'll probably like won't be able to pay for its own weight, right? Carry its own weight. But who cares? You know? Because I'm kind of at the point where it's like, I sort of feel like if I'm just having fun building something and there's passion in it, then the money will show up somehow, you know? So I'm not super concerned about it. You like this monster? We're gonna rig it or wait it here real soon. So I think it's ready to go. I'm a little concerned about the UVs. Did I say a little? I meant extremely concerned because we lost all the UVs for the character. That sucks. How did we lose the UVs for the character? Hold on, maybe there's multiple slots or sets. Yep. Okay. That's fine then. That'd be nice to grow up playing classic WoW, 60-man raids. Love it. Healer, yeah. About time you with a good time. See, like, I know there's a lot of people on board with this. What do you feel like is missing away from a 1.0 release? Oh, Bone Reach. We need to get Bone Reach out. It's like super close to being like you could run around in it and like explore and it would feel good right now. But there's no enemies there. There's no quests there. There's no resources there. So I just need to add the resources, the quests, enemies. We need to get more enemies in. Skill trees are so close. Like they just need some polish and we need some little some rebalancing is all. And then those are ready to go. I honestly think we'll probably launch them before Christmas is my plan. I was actually kind of tempted to launch them with the Witch's Eve teardown build, meaning on the 4th, I think, but I don't want to rush it. So I'm thinking the teardown build's just gonna fix a couple bugs and like we'll just get another like solid build out, and then I'll have time to like tweak that. Plus, I would really like to launch it with a dungeon, and if we can get the spider dungeon done next month, then we can launch it then, or in December. We'll see. I'm just trying not to rush. When I rush, I start getting really stressed out and I get really I get burnt out really fast. I'm actually pretty burnt out right now, which is why I spent the last 2 days working on setting up the back end for an MMO. But yeah, I don't know. I just, as much as I want to rush and just knock it out and be like, okay, fine, it's done. It's finally done. Here it is, finished. Like, let's just move on. I want to make something else, you know? Like I'm like dying to do that. But I also know that like if I rush it, it won't be good. And if I rush it too much, then I'll burn out and then it definitely won't be good. So it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of like, it's a balancing act, I guess. You keep talking about it, it makes me almost want to try to build one myself. Yeah, I started, I mean, it's definitely like the wheels are turning. I set up the back end yesterday. I even like built batch files so I can quickly and easily like start up the back end in a proxy, so like for testing purposes. And I'm ready like to probably tonight. We'll see. I have some family stuff going on today, probably. But tonight I think I'll probably get the back end set up with a new project. But yeah, here's my kind of goal, right? Or my goal kind of for this is I think my plan for development is sort of like, we're going to work on Swords and Magic when I feel like it. And I've already kind of announced that. I think everyone understands that Swords and Magic has become like, this is just a passion project that I work on when I feel like working on it. And if I don't feel like working on it, I don't work on it. You know, we're working on it today. I like to stream Swords and Magic because I think that's why everyone's here. But I also feel like people are really sick of hearing about Swords and Magic because it's 8 years now. Like 8 years. Okay, it's been 7 years since I really like announced it, but still. It's just been a long time, so I think it's just getting kind of boring and old. Anyway, so the plan I think is like, when I feel like working on Swords Magic, I'll work on it. Maybe that's not on stream, maybe it is. But I do think here soon, and I also want to, depending on how this publisher chat goes too, I might be switching gears and fully focusing on Seeking Adventure. Especially like because there's a good chance for like a console port probably, and like stuff like that. So like it's going to be, this might become a little more serious of an endeavor for the next few months to knock that out. Hopefully not a few months. Hopefully like it's like a month and we can have it like ready to go. Hopefully I won't be doing the porting and someone else can just port it, because I don't want to deal with trying to figure out how to do console controls for a game where you just click on things, right? And maybe it's just not even a good fit for consoles at all. So maybe it's just whatever. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. But as soon as I'm ready to like start working on this MMO project, like full time, maybe not full time, but like pretty consistently, I think the plan is I will set up a server as soon as possible. Probably when we have like something actually playable, we'll set up a server. And then I think what we'll do is we'll just set up a Patreon tier for like $5 a month. And that tier will give you access to play the game for as long as you're paying for it. So it'll be like a premium service, right? Like you'll be like paying a subscription fee essentially. But I think that's like the best way to like fund it. And maybe that doesn't feel very good, I don't know, but I feel like that's just a solid way to like fund the development. And it'll fund not necessarily development, but it'll fund the server fees, right? At least, so people can play it. And you can just pay for a month and then be done, I guess. I don't know. And maybe like Twitch subs, whatever, we'll get access to. Maybe we'll just make a channel in the Discord that just gives people access, who have supported some way, like either on Twitch or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'll give you time to add a dungeon as well. Yes, that's kind of the plan. Plan on launching skill trees with the winter update and do a little marketing push and sale. Yes, that's the plan. Yeah, anyway, so that's my idea, is just maybe just do like a Patreon thing and we'll just stream the development. My plan is to stream development because I really like working transparently for the most part, so people can give their feedback and input as we go. Because I can't tell you how many things in Swords Magic have like totally changed because of your input here on Twitch, right? Like so many things were like, I would have never done certain things. Like, I don't know. There's so much stuff that I would have never even thought about doing. And then someone was like, what if you did this on stream, whatever? And I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. Let's do that. So I just feel like you just get so much value out of it when you stream the game. And like, also when things are going wrong, like that's what Twitch chat is for, right? Like you guys tell me when something is like not feeling right or not looking right or not working how you'd expect it to work, whatever. And especially if you have access to the game to be playing it as we're developing it. So I don't know. I think it sounds like fun. There's a couple Twitch streamers who are making MMOs. There's one called, like, I think it's called Evan MMO, something like that. I don't know. His content's a little, I guess maybe edgy for me. I don't know. I think he smokes a lot of weed on stream. And like, I don't know. It sounds more like a hangout with his friends than anything like more professional or like entertaining or entertainment wise. But yeah, there's also like a couple other people who are making MMOs on stream, but it also feels like progress is like super slow on those, and that's not my plan. My plan is there's a lot of back end stuff, but that's why I have friends, because they'll probably be mostly handling that boring back end stuff, and I'll be mostly doing like level design, content design, modeling armor and stuff like that. Who knows what we're doing. Well, Golfer is one right there in chat who'll be working on that kind of stuff. Back end stuff is the fun part. Need some help. I don't know. I've definitely been enjoying programming way more the last few years than I ever thought I would. In fact, a lot of the times when I prototype something now, like I used to be like, let's see if we can get this art style working, and then I'll put it in a game engine and like program it, or program something around it to like make it work. And now it's very much like, let's just throw in some assets I've bought or I own or whatever, or I've got for free or whatever, and we'll get the prototype working first, and then I'll make some art if I like it, right? Which is weird for me, but like the programming part is like way more fun for me. So I do plan on doing a lot of coding, but it'll be more front end stuff, way more like gameplay stuff. I plan on heavily leaning into gas. Like I want to use gas like everywhere possible. It'll run everything, so it should be very easy to start building like effects and abilities, things like that. But yeah, and I think I'll be handling like a lot of that front end stuff for the most part. Gas is great, totally agreed. Back end stuff is the easy part. They're great. You guys can deal with the back end stuff. I mean, like, I think we should build a lot of stuff in C++. I think, like, I am totally on board with, like, building a lot of the heavy stuff in C++ and then abstracting from that. I think that's really the way to go in a bigger project like this. But also, like, I want to go more low poly and more, like, chill with this. Like, I don't want it to look like a AAA game, you know? I really do want to, like, capture kind of a more of old school vibe. I kind of want to open up the project I was playing with. It's already 125 though. I should probably take off here real soon. Let's see what we have here. Screw it, why not? I'm gonna just show you like the art style is kind of leaning toward right now. Which will probably change, like almost positive it'll change. The reason is just because I'm using some RTS assets, the same ones I used in Dwarvenhold actually. I ended up buying the entire like there's like 6 of them, I think, 6 different armies. And so I show it. Okay. But yeah, I ended up buying like all like the 6 different armies at the time. I do this thing where I get too invested in an idea and then I spend money on it and then don't end up using it. So hopefully we'll use them for this. But I'm honestly, I really like the style, the art style for these RTS units, and they feel very like old school. And I think it's almost like endearing and almost like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like World of Warcraft spawned from an RTS game, right? Spawned from Warcraft. And so I think it's kind of cool using like RTS units in like an MMO because there's like a vibe to it, you know? Anyway, this is what I have so far. I think, yeah. And I did set up some basic camera controls and movement and stuff. So, but yeah, it's gonna be a little laggy for a second, probably. This is like a demo world, like a demo showcase world for these assets, but I honestly love it and it's kind of perfect for like prototyping in. Well, the models, yeah, right? Like I can't zoom in. Here, we'll walk up here. I haven't built a zoom function yet. I don't know if I love the walk animation. We might swap that out, but like they're like cool looking. This guy's face could probably use a little bit of tweaking because he has like tusks that are like cut off, and it would be kind of cool to like add the tusks back in or whatever. But I think they're cool, and like they're all modular too, so I can like swap out the gear and everything. I have like pretty much WoW controls built in. You can run around and move the mouse or move the camera while you're running around. They're a little bit different than WoW right now, but that's pretty much all I have right now. And you can target things, but like this is again just like a prototype. You can hover over people. I wanted to do like the emissive highlight that they do in WoW, but I'd have to build like a base material for everything, and since I want to use some paid assets just to get us going anyway, might replace them later. I don't want to have to go change all of the materials in all the asset packs to like have a base like hover effect. So yeah, you can select people right now. That's all you can do, and then deselect with escape. That's it. Hook up the back end and you're halfway there, right? Yeah, so the backend's all hooked up and set up for the test project that comes with Redwood. Redwood is the backend we're using. Honestly, as far as I can tell, it's super easy so far, and I love that I don't have to build like most of the stuff in it, which is great. So we're probably gonna be using that. And like I said, I've already got a bit of like set up on my end. I don't have a server and have that set up yet, and I don't know when I will want to do that. Probably not until we're like ready for like an actual test play. But yeah, we'll get there. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just sort of feel like this is a good vibe. There's a lot of there's like a handful of different biomes already built into this world, which is like why I was kind of like, this is kind of perfect. And like I kind of love how like low poly it kind of looks. Like it almost has like an old school like WoW vibe to it already. I mean, it's definitely a little more, right? Like this is definitely more than WoW has. Like the textures and everything like that are higher quality, but like I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of digging it. Honestly, I kind of really love this. And I kind of want to just match this style with any extra art. Well, obviously we're gonna do a ton of extra art, like all the extra art we do. But look how cool this is. I don't know. I'm digging the vibe a lot. I like the more low poly. Some of these are a little higher poly than I want, but they're okay. They're good. Yeah. Love the models. Yeah, and then the coolest part about it is that, and I don't know if this is the direction we want to go or not, but these characters... Probably all this is going to be rebuilt in C++ anyway, I'm sure. But they have modular pieces already. So you have like the torso, which is kind of weird. Like, I think it's weird how they've done this, but at the same time, kind of don't hate it. And I kind of like how simple it is, and it'd be really simple to build a bunch of custom like gear for this. Then you have like shoulder pads, and I can swap these out. Oh, maybe I can't. Am I crazy? Did I not have that like working perfectly the other day? They're not animating. I thought I had these working. Oh yeah, they are. Okay. Anyway, you can just like swap out the shoulder pads. We have different legs you can swap out. I think I messed some stuff up, but yeah, because they're not like animating. I don't know why. I don't know why I have so many of these. I think I've duplicated some stuff. I'll have to clean this up when we move it over. None of these are getting their textures either. Well, there's one. That might have been one I already put on though. I don't know, whatever. You can swap them out. There's different legs. There's a different, there we go. There's different. So these are just like boots. And then you obviously have sword and shield, which is easy to swap out. And then you have hands. We're gonna have the same issue with the hands probably. There you go. Anyway, and then you also have heads too, which are entire heads, which is a bit of a problem because you probably don't want to swap out an entire head. But we can. So that's pretty cool. I'm sorry, I'm very new to streams. What is this game you're showing? Orc is so Warcrafty. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm glad you say that. Sorry, there's an ad going on right now, so we'll wait a second, then I'll explain. Oh, ad break's over. Okay, that was easy. Let me know if you're back and you should be back. This is a sort of like just a prototype that I have been working on the last couple days. Honestly, not super, haven't invested a ton of time into it yet. But yeah, this is for an MMO. It's a prototype. I'm just kind of like feeling out, oh, the legs are totally broken. All right, well, pay no attention to that. The legs are definitely broken. Why is that? They just don't have the animation. Yeah, so I'm working on, you probably know about Swords and Magic. I'm assuming that's probably how you found the stream. So Swords, Magic, and stuff is my main project. I've been working on for quite a while and have every intention to finish. But it is getting, it's been like 8 years since I started it, and it's like I'm burning out on it, and I just want to work on new things. It's also not very financially viable to work on anymore. It doesn't make any money anymore, really. So I've been working on other things for fun, and one of the things that I've always wanted to do is make an MMO. And I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft lately, Classic, and lately I've just been kind of like motivated to make something new. So yeah, so the reason it's Warcraft, it's so Warcrafty, is because that's kind of the idea. These are assets. I did not make any of these. These are packs I had laying around or I purchased, not necessarily for this, but for other reasons. These guys are for an RTS pack. This is a jump animation that I grabbed from, I think, Unreal, just in general. I think this is just like a default Unreal Engine pack. But I have like a bunch of other packs for these too. I'll open up and show you the other characters we have. So there's a lot of like already right out of the gate. If we use these characters, it'll be very easy to build new armor and pieces and stuff like that for them, hopefully. I need to open them up in Maya and see what like the UVs look like and everything, but it should be easy. But I already have a bunch of these. Search RTS. So these are the orc ones, but we also have these barbarians and elves and dwarves and undead. Like, I love the undead ones. The only thing we don't have right now is enemies. So like right now, all the enemies are probably gonna be humanoids for a while until I model some other enemies. But yeah, we have like all these different characters. They all have like color variations, so I can just make a ton of different armor and pieces and stuff like that. I'm also pretty certain I can just mix and match pieces from these. I think they're all built the same way with like the arms are separate and everything. Pretty sure, not positive. So I can probably use like the shoulders and stuff like that. I mean, the helmets are part of their heads, which is kind of problematic. We can probably just fix that though, make new helmets. But yeah, there's a bunch of different like weapons and armor and stuff I can swap out. So there's already like a lot here we can build from. Hi, hon.
Hi. What's going on?
Nothing. What are you doing? You want me to get off?
What?
You want me to wrap up? Okay, that's fine. Anyway, we already have a bunch of like cool pieces for it, so. But yeah, I just start with the orcs because they're kind of my favorite. Anyway, what's up, Animosity? I built some pretty slick server instancing for old-timey MMO zoning. I love the concept of MMO backends. Yeah. So would close idea to Swords and Magic and stuff? Probably not, actually. Swords and Magic is an open world action RPG, and this would very much be open world MMO, I guess. But yeah, we'd have like one official server with server instancing, sharding, whatever. And then the idea is like the combat would, right now I'm leaning toward tab targeting. Like I love the idea of just like selecting a target and using your abilities and having like an ability bar at the bottom. But we talked a lot about, well, not a lot. We talked a little bit in like the dev group for this so far, the three of us, about instead of doing like high numbers of abilities and having like 30 abilities, whatever, on your bar and having to like hotkey all of those, whatever, keeping it much slower and maybe doing something more like Elder Scrolls Online does. And we've even talked about maybe doing like you're just kind of slotting the abilities you want at this time, and also maybe doing like ability evolution type of things. So like you would maybe like a skill tree or something for your abilities. So you like, if you have like a fireball, for example, you could like evolve that into like I don't know, a flamethrower kind of deal or something. So you're like, it's like the same ability, but the collisions are a little weird on these. But yeah, we'll clean all that up. Anyway, I don't know. We don't really have anything planned yet. We're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall right now and see what happens. I think we need to set up a meeting this week or this weekend probably, and like chat about what we actually want to build, because I don't think anyone really knows what they want to build yet, which is fine. With Swords of Magic, I already had this whole idea built out and started building it, and then Moz came on, and then Wendy came on, and then Joe came on, and so it was like everyone was just kind of catering to my idea. And this time around, like, I want to start from the ground up. Like, obviously I pitched the idea to everyone, but like I kind of want to just start from like nothing, you know. I kind of want to just be like, all I want to do is make an old school MMO that just feels slow, but like I want the pacing to be slower. I want it to be very social heavy, which is kind of scary for an indie MMO, because like, you know, the chances of us having more than 100 players online at a time are going to be probably pretty slim at any given time. So social is a little scary, but I think we can make it work. And I think we can build something charming enough that like players enjoy it, you know? I think. Anyway, that's the plan. Like Diablo 3 and Runes? I don't know, I haven't played Diablo 3. Actually, yeah, I have. Maybe. Guild Wars 1 is great. Absolutely love Guild Wars 1. You have X amount of abilities, choose carefully. Yes, 100%. So actually, yeah, so Guild Wars 1 was actually my first MMO. and then I discover World of Warcraft, and I don't know why the sand is so sparkly. we'll be tweaking that probably. I feel like this environment is meant to be seen from further away, but I kind of like that about it because that's what gives it like such the classic MMO vibe. I don't know, I'm so digging the art style for this already. Like, I don't know, I'm really into this. Anyway, yeah, I love Guild Wars 1, and I really love how many different abilities you can unlock, and then you slot the ones you want, and I think that we're going to go toward that. One thing I don't like about, especially retail WoW, is just having like 50 different abilities on your bar, and then having to do like shift 1 through 6, control 1 through 6. I'm literally tempted to like buy an MMO mouse because I want to play at a higher level, but I just feel like I can't keep up with the keybinds. I'm also very much a clicker, an ability clicker kind of player, so I'm like constantly clicking my abilities instead of using the keybinds. I can get into the keybinds thing if I have like a smaller like rotation, but anyway, I don't know. I'm right now we're just kind of just vibing, and we're gonna see what happens, I guess. Don't really have a whole lot planned. So currently trying to update it with some at a foundational level, yes, it does launch EC2 instances, but that's definitely not the bread and butter. I'm currently trying to update it with some simplistic, extremely POC server meshing though. Yeah, so we're definitely utilizing Redwood for all this stuff. Well, as of right now, we are. I'm sure when we get it all set up and we start playing with it, we will see where the limitations are and pitfalls are. I also happen to know the developer of Redwood and know that if we run into any major issues, I can beg and plead and get them fixed or get help with them, which is a huge plus for Redwood in my eyes. But yeah, and also it's just gonna be so much faster and easier to get everything set up if we have like a backend that's like already built, you know. So anyway, yeah, this is kind of the plan. When am I gonna like start developing on this? I don't know. I would say the wheels are definitely turning, and there is progress slowly being made. I do think we're just gonna start with these simple assets and build from here, because I think there's enough here to start building and getting like a simple like gameplay loop. So yeah, but I'm super excited though. And I think that the plan is we're just gonna start slow. We're just gonna start nice and slow and just see kind of what we're feeling. Go from there. I never heard Redwood. This is legit for speed? Yeah, look it up. So it's made by Mike Cease, who actually helped a lot on Swords of Magic. He was a big part of the team for a long time. Did a whole lot of work, especially with our server browser stuff, dedicated servers. He pretty much handled building all the dedicated server stuff by himself. Huge help. And he has been building Redwood on the side. Actually, I think primarily, not on the side. That's like his primary thing for a long time. And he has an amazing revenue share deal. As far as I understand, it is 2%. He asked for 2% once you've reached $100,000. So if your MMO breaks 100,000, you immediately pay $2,000 out to them, right? Like that's your first checkout, and then you pay 2% from then on. So it is a revenue split, and 2% is a lot if you are making millions. But like what he offers saves so much time. I guarantee if I hired a backend dev to like build everything he's already built, it would cost 20-30 grand, right? Like it would just be a lot of money. I think he also has a pay once deal, but I don't remember what the price is on that. If I remember correctly, it was quite reasonable. So the next project will be an MMO. I'm not making any promises yet. We really need to fix these collisions, huh? I'm not making any promises. I don't know what we're doing. I know the next launch is going to be Seeking Adventure. We need to get that out, get that finished. So we will be making Seeking Adventure. That'll probably be the next game you guys get to play from us. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the next project I'm going to be like working on is going to be this game. I'm just really excited about it. I think it'll be fun. Make the abilities unique, add milestones or XP for them. Once you level up the abilities, you can evolve your spell instead of the normal talent tree. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. That's pretty much exactly how ESO does it too. Elder Scrolls Online also has like an ability like leveling kind of system, and so you will also like it's basically the same situation. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning toward right now, or I think we're leaning toward. I just think I think the reason that we are kind of avoiding tab targeting is so Golfer doesn't like tab targeting, and I don't know exactly the reasoning yet. We're gonna sit down and have a chat, I'm sure, and then we'll figure out why. I love tab targeting. I think it just adds to like the slow paced like chill vibe, and it's more about stats and numbers and gear and less about like skill. We're getting it's getting a little chuggy here. None of this is set up on like world partition yet, because I've never really played with world partition before, so I'm sure one day we'll set it up. Like, these environments are just so cool already, and I feel like with like some color changes and stuff, we can already just like have so much more too, like right out of the gate. We need a forest environment, so I'll be making some pine trees for sure. But yeah, oh, getting some weird collisions again. Definitely vibing with the art style. These are really good collisions. And again, I think these assets are set up to be like more like a top down or like a further away thing, but I don't know. Anyway, I think I have to get out of here. I also don't like tab targeting, but to be fair, this kind of MMO probably isn't my kind of game either. Well, so have you guys ever heard of Core Punk? I'd be 100% for tab targeting MMO. Yeah, I think tab targeting it just makes the development easier too. You can just build abilities that are like, this is a targeted ability. There you go. Like, so we ran Swords of Magic does not have tab targeting. Obviously, we don't have target locking at all, which made healing really difficult to design. Like, right out of the gate, it was like, okay, we'll just have a healing staff that you just shoot at the enemy, and that's fine. And it was kind of fine, except you miss a lot. And so then it was like, well, what if we made a thing where it shoots these orbs out and they hit the ground, and then you can run over, then the allies can run over the orbs. And that was cool, but then it just kind of turns into like this, you're just constantly spamming orbs out. Like, you don't really decide there's no like thinking or thought process about which spell to use, whatever. You're just spamming orbs and people are just running over them and staying alive. It just feels like there's not a whole lot of intention behind it. And so it was sort of like, and we're still running issues like that with Swords of Magic. Like, I still need to make more healing abilities for dungeons and stuff. I think we're getting close to what we need. But yeah, there's a lot of like AoE heals and stuff like that because there's no targeting. I have actually built in a new targeting system, so you can actually target now, which is nice. But yeah, like there's a lot of issues if you don't have like a targeting system of some sort when in multiplayer co-op games, right? So that's what I was kind of trying to avoid, and I thought, well, tab targeting would be so easy. One, Swords of Magic uses hit scans for physics hit scans for your swing, like weapon swings and stuff for melee combat, and physics for projectiles and things like that, which adds a lot of overhead for like an online game, right? Because like you don't want to be replicating physics and stuff if you can help it. And so a lot of that was like, well, if we did tab targeting, we don't have to worry about any of that, right? You just have a target and you attack, and then if you're within range, it hits, and then you roll some numbers and see if it hits or they block or whatever, right? So it's all very like simple, and like it's very like D&D-esque, like, you know, a bunch of dice rolling rather than like having to line up your shot and everything. But I'm also a big fan of like League of Legends, right? I really like skill shots. I like the idea of that kind of stuff too. So I was actually tempted to maybe like talk about doing more like skill shot type abilities like that too. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of discussion to be had still about where we want to go with this. All I know is I want a more old school vibe, and I want like a world to explore. I'm also trying really hard to like build horizontally instead of vertically, or as much horizontally as I can. Because I know that vertical progression leads to expansions, which leads to like bigger and bigger numbers and leads to exactly the same thing that retail ended up with. So my plan is like, I want to build more breadth of content. So like when there's a new expansion or whatever, it's more like, let's level a new character through the new zone and like play that, rather than let's log on our level 60 character or whatever and level to level 70, you know, and do the end game raids or whatever. I think, yeah, sounds a bit like Albion. Yeah, I think is this still related to the Redwall idea? No, I don't want to say I've scrapped that idea, but it's definitely on the shelf for now. The more I thought about it, the more I just thought like this is gonna be a ton of work to get this feeling right. I had to make all the custom art myself. I don't really have like a good starting point. I've looked a bunch, but there's like no decent like mouse or like animal like forest creature or whatever models out there in the world to like start from, and so everything would be made from scratch, which is fine. I can do that. It just would have been a lot of work. And then because they're shoot, what are they called? Their legs. They're on the tip of my tongue. Their legs have like the extra joint in them, like they bend forward. They're there's a term, digitigrade, digigrade, something like that. I can't remember the word. Anyway, it's something like that. Because of that, it means I can't like really use pre-made animations either. So the more I like thought about even just building the art for that game was going to be a lot of work. So yeah, I don't know. That was like, honestly, I honestly think that building that game would take longer than building an MMO. And I know that sounds wild, especially because that game is literally just a survival crafting game. So like once you build the systems, the game is done, right? Like then you just have to make a world that you can build, that players can like go run around in and you're free. So yeah, like I don't know. I just think like the art style and stuff, it's gonna be a lot of work. So I don't want to say it's scrapped. It's just it's on hold for now. It's something I would really like to do, but making an MMO is way higher up on my like dream game list to do than a Redwall game. One day like a Redwall MMO would be like the ultimate combination, right? But even that isn't as appealing to me as like just fantasy. Anyway, sounds like Albion. Yeah, I think Albion has the right direction. My problem with Albion was it was very much I feel like when you get to like mid game to like end game, you start running into a lot of like paywalls or time gated stuff. Like you're waiting like a week to do things, and I hate that in games. I hate that so much in games, and I refuse to do anything like that at all. I think WoW doing like you can only do so many raids in a week. Even that probably too much. I think I don't really like that either. I don't mind like time gates if they're like manageable or they make sense lore wise. Like for example, waiting for mail in Swords of Magic. I actually like that. I think that makes sense, and it gives you something to like look forward to, right? I think little things like that, like you finish a quest and you know, just for meta reasons, you know that you're getting a letter in the mail in a couple days. I think that gives you like something to be excited for, and then you go do other things while you wait for that thing. I think that kind of stuff is fine. There's lore reasons for it. It's immersive. It feels good, and then the reward is worth it. But if you're like, I need to craft 100, steel bars so I can make this one set of armor or whatever, and it takes me 2 to 5 minutes to craft one steel bar, so you're literally just AFK waiting hours and hours. I hate that so much. Blue Protocol had success with their content gating. I thought Blue Protocol looked absolutely atrocious. I mean, I guess the game looks good, but like, I don't know. The gearing system was so weird, and right out the bat, I was like, I'm not vibing with this. I'm not feeling this weird gearing system. Is that the stylized mega pack on Fab? Probably. Swish. It's definitely a pack you can purchase. I think we got it for free actually. Which is going to be a bit of a problem if we try to launch an MMO with just these assets. So I'll definitely be making some custom art for it. I don't even know if these assets will make it in. I honestly, the whole game might totally change look and feel in the next week. Who knows? But yeah, it's very much starting with assets just so we can get something prototype. I think the big part of an MMO is just like getting it running, right? And getting the basic features in, like being able to like do basic combat and like party and dungeons and trading and crafting and stuff like that. Like all that stuff is just like, once that stuff's in, then it's all about just building a world for it to live in, for players to live in. And I think that's the part that I love doing. I want to build a world that players can live in. Love designing features and building systems and stuff too, but like, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. I think we can get to that point pretty quick. So if I have to use assets to get to that point faster, then that's fine with me. And then we'll go from there. And if we decide we want to replace it, we will. And if not, who cares? I've never seen this used in these assets used in a game before, and we probably won't, you know, in a game in this genre anyway. So I don't think players will ever care. I also think environment art is sort of one of those things where like you can get away with using assets. Characters, not as much. We might struggle with the characters, but they're RTS characters, so I think we'll be fine. Especially if I customize them a lot. But yeah, environment art, it's like totally fine. Anyway, guys, I hate to do this. I really want to keep streaming and talking about this more. Obviously, I'm way too smitten about this idea right now. Probably like an unhealthy amount. Like I've been staying up till like 3 a.m. working on this, and I'm super hyped because we literally have like multiplayer working in the test, in the test like game that comes with Redwood already, and I can swap that over in probably like an hour, and we'll have multiplayer working in this, and we'll have like multiple, like we can literally already have like the basic foundation of an MMO already. Like you can run around with another player, and that's with a bunch of players, and that's like that's like the number one thing you got to do for an MMO. Everything else on top of that is like extra, like it's not necessary to be an MMO. 3 a.m. addiction, coding / creating is the best, literally best in life. Yeah. Login. Yeah, I guess we need a login. But that's built into Redwood too, so I'm pretty sure I can just copy their login and registration stuff over, and we'll already have that set up too, and then we can just customize it and polish it. I do need to figure out how and where that's being stored and how that works. I believe it's an SQL database, SQLite, I don't know how you say it. SQLite? I don't know. But I need to learn way more about the stuff. But that's why I want to get in a call with Golfer and Moz. And oh yeah, Moz is the other person that is probably working on this with us. What's your tech stack? Redwood. I don't know. Backend stuff is not my game. I will very much be the face and the pretty face and the front end stuff. I'll be talking a lot about systems, balance, design, art, lore, questing, crafting, stuff like that. Unreal Engine. Sorry. We're using Unreal Engine with Redwood for the backend. You'll probably want to use Postgres through SQLite. Should be fine for testing. Yeah, I'm gonna leave all that stuff up to probably Golfer for now. I'm sure Moz will have a say in it as well. Moz actually posted some stuff in our chat for this. Also, just so if you want something to refer to this by, we are currently calling this. It's kind of a code name. We don't really have a name for this yet, since we don't even know what this game is yet, or what the story or world or how that's going to be like yet. But right now we're calling it Project Campfire. I don't remember why. I came up with it weeks ago, and it just kind of stuck for me. So, yeah, if you feel like you want to refer to it. I don't think we're going to be making a Discord channel for it anytime in the next couple of weeks. I want to see what's going on with Seeking Adventure first, and we're probably going to get through the holidays with Swords and Magic, because I have a lot of stuff to do there before we do anything with this. I also would like to announce this when we actually have something playable and you guys can actually hop in and start playing. So I think our very first initial goal is just being able to register, create a character, even if that's just picking a race or whatever. And then hopping in, maybe some like very basic combat, maybe some resource gathering, some leveling up, stuff like that, just so there's like some sort of semblance of a game first before we announce it and do anything. We'll see what happens though. we'll check out Spacetime DB during the meeting. I am just curious if it actually is suitable for MMO as they claim. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Redwood is already like using. The only reason I even say SQL is because I saw when I was launching the proxy, it popped up and said something about loading SQLite or SQLite. So I don't know if that's like, I know that SQL is a database tool. That's about the extent of that's the extent of my knowledge with SQL and databases in general, outside of Unreal Engine. So yeah, I don't know. We'll be talking to Golfer about it. Anyway, you guys, I have to get out of here. I think my daughter wants to go to a pumpkin patch, so I'm probably gonna go do that. So, Spacetime DB sounds good too. Cool. Hi at Moz also. Skeptical about Spacetime DB. I would just use UE's replication system. We will be, but we need some sort of database that holds account information, players inventory, like all that stuff, right? Like we need all that stuff in a database somewhere, with like backups and everything. So like it's just for backend. Yeah, the replication stuff still, like we're still using all the replication stuff in Unreal Engine. Spacetime DB is not just a database. Oh, okay. Well, who knows then? It's like a database plus server in one. Well, as far as I know, right now I want to use Redwood because it seems like it's gonna save us a ton of time, but we're still totally like open to other options. So yeah, we're gonna get a meeting set up. We're all gonna jump into chat and figure out what we want to do this weekend. Okay, guys. Okay. All right, let's get out of here. We have enough people to go raid someone, I think. So let's go find someone to raid. We had 30 something. Maybe we don't have enough now. We have enough. We go raid a WoW streamer. We should. I'm just kidding. Let's go. Should we go raid Crimson? He's working on his new game. Yeah, let's do it.
As a matter of
all right. Ad break, of course. Perfect timing. True, a new guy, but I'm a bit skeptical too. That's why. Curious. Yeah, we can look into it though. Can't hurt. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Appreciate it. You're the best. We will be back on Tuesday. Maybe I'll have some more information about this game. Who knows? Maybe not. I know I need to do. I have a few bug fixes for Swords of Magic to knock out before we take down Witch's Eve, which will happen on the 4th. So you guys can enjoy Witch's Eve right now. The game is not on sale right now, unfortunately. We had to save our sale for upcoming stuff, and we were just on sale recently, so we decided not to do it for Witch's Eve. So yeah, if you want your friends to play with you, you will have to pay full price for the game right now, unfortunately, so sorry about that. But yeah, go enjoy Witch's Eve, enjoy the fall season, I guess, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for coming in. Goodbye.